Brexit Party MEP Rupert Lowe has hit out at the EU, branding the institution a federal superstate that has sacrificed Britain on the altar. Mr. Lowe launched a scathing attack on the European Union as he condemned the bloc for being a fig leaf of democracy. He criticized the EU for being ultimately run by the French and paid for by the Germans and called on Boris Johnson to leave the bloc without a deal. The Brexit Party MEP also accused the bloc of sacrificing Britain on the altar. Mr. Lowe said the EU has become a federal European superstate. He said, "As the proudest sovereign nation in Europe, we have been sacrificed on the altar by this post-war European project. As a result of that, a lot of our constituents have suffered massively." The MEP continued his attack on the bloc and saying, "The EU is a fig leaf of democracy. It is not democracy." As a result, Mr. Lowe urges the Prime Minister to honour his pledge to leave the EU on the 31st of October come what may. He also said Britain needed to leave without a deal, as he branded Mr. Johnson's deal an absolute disaster. He said, "I am absolutely adamant that we should leave with no deal. A clean break Brexit is right for the UK as a whole." He continued, "We cannot have any form of reheated Theresa May's withdrawal agreement. It is an absolute disaster and the worst outcome for all of us." He said that when he met with the EU's chief Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier last month, he told the EU leader, "I wouldn't sign this treaty if I had just lost to you in a war." Mr. Lowe also hit out at Remainers for being entirely democratic. He said, "The Remain camp are disregarding the votes of 17.4 million people. People are getting very angry because it is becoming a matter of these Remain parliamentarians who think they know better than the public. They are effectively hijacking democracy and trying to take control of what happens, with one aim, which is to overrule the once-in-a-lifetime referendum result." The Brexit Party MEP, who will run as MP for Dudley North in the next election, accused Remainers of intellectual arrogance for assuming they are right. He said, "It's not their job to think they are right, it is their job to enact the democratic will of the people." Mr. Lowe warned that if the UK remains in the bloc, anger will escalate among Brexit voters. He said they are angry now and they will be even more angry if the can is kicked down the road once more.